Now, this brings us to a section of our show that we like to call Kickstarter Pickstarter, in which we examine some Kickstarters that we've picked as starters. And the first one is something that everybody's heard about. It's a follow-up to Cryptozoic's Ghostbusters board game.
Ooh, let me guess. Mm-hmm. DC deck building.
Yeah, surprisingly. No, it's Ghostbusters the board game 2. Will, you actually are a backer of this as you were of the first one?
Yes, though I backed it because they had an early bird and I just wanted to hold it and wait until the 48 hours decide.
So you might back out.
Yes.
Well,
mostly the reason behind that though is just because we haven't played the first one yet.
Right. It's a little...
We got it, and then we've never had the time to sit down.
Well, how long? It was October, right? When it launched?
That's the other thing. I feel like we've barely had it.
Or no, it's October it was released, yeah. The Kickstarter itself was probably about a year ago.
Yeah,
maybe.
But still.
No, it's pretty soon. It's pretty soon. I'm wondering how many people outside of hardcore board game fans...
Well, I'm pretty sure it's already way past it.
No, yeah, it's definitely well-funded. But it just, I don't know, it's because I'm in the board game bubble, so I'm wondering outside of that, are other people talking about the Ghostbusters board game or not?
I don't know. That's a very interesting thing. And another thing to point out is that this one has nothing to do with the movie.
The second movie, you mean? Even though it's called the board game?
No, I mean...
the new movie.
The new movie. No, the Statue of Liberty is in this.
It is based on the second movie, from what I remember, yes.
No, but I mean, like... As far as I know, there's nothing related to
that. Doesn't surprise me. I mean,
no, but I mean, like, so it's not like let's push this out before the new movie comes. Like that's what I'm trying.
Well, I think it is and it isn't because even if it's not directly related, it's still the name.
But I mean, not directly. Like, considering how if you watched the first Kickstarter video, which I was really happy because they really pulled a lot, especially for the characters for the lore. Like they even had the guy who's the video game character from the Ghostbusters game, and actually they're making a new Ghostbusters game.
Video game?
Yeah, but it's like...
Oh, it's the one that's like overhead?
Yeah, which is
it's not. It's like arcadey.
I got excited for a second when I first heard because I love the...
Yeah, it's like a downloadable thing.
But so it's very interesting how quickly they're pushing this.
I guess obviously it was successful both times. So I mean, can't really blame them too much.
I don't know if they hit it or not. I know one of the things you can get is actually Slimer as a playable character. Huh? Like he becomes a Ghostbuster. He has a pro dunk pack.
Okay, sure. Whatever makes you happy. Whatever slimes your grime, as I like to say.
One of Jonathan's comic catchphrases.
And this is also a standalone, right? By itself,
so.
I think. Well, it goes for $80, so hopefully it's a standalone.
That's another reason why it's like, I'll hold it, but...
Right. So there's a lot there. I'm sure if you've heard of it or if you want it or not already, you've backed it. It's Ghostbusters 2. There's next one I'm going to talk to you about. Might remind you of a different 80s movie.
All right. Let's see. I have no idea. Even though I know it just changed on the screen.
It's called Great Scott. Has nothing to do with Back to the Future at all. But that's the title of the game.
That's why I was confused. I was like, I don't remember any other 80s movie Kickstarter.
Yeah, purely coincidental. This is basically a party game in the vein of, I would say, Fun Employed or that game Roots, the word building game that was also a Kickstarter game. And it's a card drafting game where you're drafting different elements of inventions. And once everyone has the cards that they want, you put them in a row and you have to pitch to everyone what your invention is using these weird things. So it's kind of like supposed to be like an 1800s like snake oil salesman, like you're pitching your weird invention items.
What I imagine what this could be really fun, sort of an alternate, is the way it works is the one you actually, it's more like, what's this show called? Shark Tank?
Uh-huh.
So you have to pitch your idea to, and everyone like puts a number how much they think is worth or something.
Well, it's kind of like that, kind of.
All right.
Well, the two things, so, you know, on the surface I thought, well, it sounds funny, but it kind of sounds like we've had party games like this before. The things that I liked first were the drafting element. That's a little different, kind of like Fun Employed a little bit. But then there's also, like you're saying, after everyone's heard, you have a 2-point card and a 1-point card, and you give, so that's who you reward to. So unlike other games where it's one judge, everybody at the end of each round decides who they liked the best and who they liked second best, and that's how they get their points. And then also you get points if you have similar things in your lineup. So for instance, there might be a bunch of cards that are animal types. So if you had like 2 or 3 animal types, you get points for having them all together in your invention.
For my invention, I've attached a python to a zebra to a lion.
So you're rewarded not just for the social element, but also a little bit of the game, like set collection as well, which I thought was neat. And the art, looks kind of funny. So that's great, Scott. If you like those kinds of social party games, it seems like the kind of thing that you might like. And it goes for $23.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's reasonable. Cards. And then one last Kickstarter game from you.
Yes.
It's themed around the world of art.
Yeah, yes, it is.
When I get quiet, when it's heard. Project Gallery?
Yeah. I don't know if we've talked about on the show, but you own a game called Musée.
I want to say we probably did, because I feel like we've been doing this show long enough that I backed it within the time frame of this show.
And we really loved it. This seems like a much more competitive version of that. Same idea, you're building a gallery, but there's a lot more like you're actually going to bid an auction for pieces of art between all of you. There's also like you can take art from other people, but you can put art in a vault to try to save it, but it's not out. And you get points for doing sets, but it's not just like Musée, it's just there are 4 different sets. Like each card actually has a whole list on the bottom. Like this has cats in it. It's by this artist, by this. So you can do. There's a lot more.
Goes in depth.
Finagling with your gallery, which I think is really cool. And plus, like we said with Musée, we love all the artwork that comes, the classic artwork. It really just shows and stuff. So
yeah,
I think it was really cool because it was pretty much like we said, but we loved about Musée and then taking up that extra competitive level.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I think the bidding sounds like a nice touch, because that's it makes sense.
Yeah. I forgot. You can also take loans apparently from other museums and stuff like for.
That's cool. It'd be cool if they had like you could actually be a museum, like I'm the Louvre, and like you're like.
Oh, you mean real museums?
Yeah, like real museums.
What I think would be really cool,
ones.
because I'm pretty sure. Yeah, in fact, I think we did talk about Musée, because I think I talked about this. For them to combine not just art, but like you have to balance like your art, your science, like.
Yeah, like a history museum.
Yeah, so you have to be like, look, I know I've got some nice art, but I should get some fossils because that's gonna really give some points and stuff. So.
That would be really cool. Yeah, because there's a handful of art gallery museum games, and then there's a handful of like archaeological dig games.
We gotta come together, dinosaur, art. We gotta become one.
That's what Roll for Crit's all about. We're the chocolate and peanut butter of its museums. That goes for $45 at least, and I think there might be an early bird still for like $40. I could be wrong. If you check that out, I could be thinking of a different game. $45.
Well, it depends.
Standard
Remember,
price.
by the time we talk about this,
right.